So welcome everyone. I'm delighted you're here. I'm really pleased with the beauty of how this group has come together and all of you being here. I feel that you're all such beautiful resources to each other. So let's just take a big breath. And while we're still unmuted, let's breathe in and let go with a nice sound. And a big breath, letting your breath fill all the way, pause at the top. And letting go with sound and the shaking out. That shaking out feels so good. It's so good for balancing the parasympathetic nervous system. Let's just stand up and shake out the whole body. So you'll always want a little space to do something like this, because I ask you to stand up at times. So shaking out. Let your legs get really soft so your knees are bent. You're down in your hips. You can shake out your fanny. Shake out your shoulders. Shake out the world. Shake out all that's gone before. Shake out your head. Maybe just use your hands to clear anyone else's energy. The back. And then imagine that your being has put a beautiful globe of light right in your transpersonal chakra. Reach up into it and bring it all the way around your auric field, outlining your sphere of light around you, all around the sides. And then if you're painting the inside of your auric field with radiant light in front, and behind. And letting that light flow through you. Release your old grounding. We change so fast now. We need to renew it often. Release your old grounding and sink some new roots into the earth. Just feel those roots from your feet and from your seat. Yeah. All right. Coming back to where you're sitting. And let's take a moment to really come present. Find a way your spine feels aligned. And breathing in the light of your being, let it spiral down your center, follow it in, right all the way into the heart chakra. Come sit in your heart. We can allow the light of our being and our presence to create a sanctuary in the heart. Beautiful sanctuary. For us to connect most deeply with the heart of the divine, the divinity that's in us, that is us. If there's nothing outside the creatrix, God, goddess, however you define it, if it fills the cosmos, then it fills us. So feel that in you, which is the creatrix of all it is. Hello, hello. And I want to use the bija mantras, which are a beautiful way to balance all the chakras. I'm going to do a screen share. This is in your Mighty Network. And it's a sound, it starts at the base with lam. You really pronounce the first syllable. Lam, the second vam, ram, yam, ham, om, and then it's om, and then it goes into the crown. So I think this would be good for you to go ahead and mute so you can hear the sound and make your own. So I'll go through it once and then you all join me, or if you know it, join me anywhere, okay? So on the Om, we look up into the third eye and up into our being. So it links heaven and earth through us. So full breath in. Ah. Lam Bam Ram Yam And I like to bring my hand to each chakra so that I'm actually walking it up my body. Okay. So let's do a full breath in and out, and then we'll do it 3 times. Full breath in. Lam Vam Ram Yam Lam Vam Ram Yam Lam Vam Ram Yam Feel how it is being connected to your being, to earth, to your chakras. And if that's especially pleasing to you, find a way to put your hand on your body that will anchor that feeling. Grounded, centered, in touch with your sanctuary and your heart. And this is neuro-linguistic programming. You anchor the feeling in a way you can touch your body again and fire that anchor. So anytime that you just feel exquisitely present, you add it to the anchor. So how many of you feel more present, more here, more now? Yeah. The other piece I love to ask of my guides is radiant guides and angels, recalibrate all my energies to current time. Recalibrate all my energies to current time, February 7th, 2023. And it allows you to align with your core and call your energies right into now, into the heart of your body. And especially when I'm about to begin something new, I release the past and the future. Bring all of me right into current time. Ah, great. So what I love to do with our beautiful circle is an embodiment practice different one each time. And then we check in, but now we're checking in from our heart, from our center, from a deeper place. So I'd like whoever would like to, in a moment, check in what's alive for you, what you're passionate about, and what's your expression in the world. So we kind of know how you're showing up in the world. And would someone timekeep? I'm not very good at timekeeping. I get too caught up.
I can timekeep. How long do you want each person to go for?
Let's do 2 minutes. And at the end of the 2 minutes, it doesn't mean stop in the middle of a sentence, but bring it to completion. Okay.
Sorry, it cut. I did not hear that.
2
How long?
minutes.
2 minutes. Okay.
And who would like to check in first?
Could you repeat the questions, please?
Yes. What's alive in you? What are you passionate about? And kind of who are you in the world? What's your expression in the world? It's what do you do, but however your heart wants to say it.
It seems like a lot to fit into 2 minutes.
Okay, we'll do 2.5.
Okay.
So give us a 30-second notice, like Dave, and then at 2.5, hold the phone up or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And hold it up for a bit because they may not be looking at your little square. Someone begin and someone else prepare to start right after them, please.
I'll begin.
Great.
So my name is Monica Thomas. I am a sex positive feminist, and I'm excited about transcendence. So that includes Tantra, and I am very excited to be here, and I'm forgetting some of the questions.
What are you passionate about?
Yeah. All of the ideas of sexuality, like noticing how they're all really talking about the same thing. And so getting into that trance with a connection to all things, right? Yeah, I think we're already, you've already talked about it already today, but I'm excited to be here. So thank you.
And your expression in the world.
I'm also a real estate agent. But really, I'm more focused on the podcast because it's what connects me to the community, and it's what I'm really passionate about. I mean, I love helping people buy a house too, but this is more important to me in many ways.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Great.
Right on time.
And then what we like to do is offer our sparkles, our love, just offering the light of source to you. So breathe it in, Monica. Let it nurture you. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm curious if it would work for you to move a little closer to your camera.
Are we talking to me?
Yes,
You betcha.
that'd be great. Get comfortable, but a little closer.
Yep.
Beautiful. Thank you.
My pleasure.
What is next? I can go.
I'm Karen. I'm very passionate about my work, which is also a lot about me. My work comes out of my own, as for a lot of healers and therapists, comes out of my own deep wounding. And I'm a somatic pre and perinatal therapist who works with babies and kids and adults and families. And I also love through conscious early parenting from preconception onwards. I'm really into healing and energy and consciousness and working with people and somatics and learning. I'm in a really big transition right now in my life, having moved back from California after 24 years to England, and absolutely loving being back here with my family and being able to just do normal things with them. We like doing normal things because we've had a lot of time not doing that. So I'm really resettling here. Yeah. Haven't found my spot yet, so I'm still like a little dog going round and round on the porch. Where's it going to be? Where's it going to be? That's fun. Very undefined, which is I like. I don't know if that was 2.5 minutes.
Oh, keep going. You got time. You got 1 minute.
Oh, have I? Oh my gosh. I'm also very passionate about Tantra, sexuality, and working with that all the time. Last time I saw Evelina, we were at a Tantra festival in Oregon, which was really fun. I love driving up there and doing that. I would really love to find some community around that here. In England, I'm working on it. I'm trying to find my tribes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here, and thank you everyone for changing the time so I could come. Appreciate that.
50 seconds left.
Well, if someone's done, you're done. So
You're done. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good timekeeping.
yeah. Would you like to receive our love?
Oh, please. Oh, thank you.
I'll go. So I'm Dara, and wow, well, I am also in a big transition in my life, kind of at a turning point, in the process of figuring out like what I'm doing. I had a pretty successful career for a long time, sharing my passions around cooking and nutrition. I had my own business and I would teach classes, and that was amazing. I definitely like shine as a teacher and somebody who inspires other people, and on like just with my knowledge and my stories. And so a few years ago, I had moved away from that and done more like holistic health coaching, and just was actually like kind of put that aside because I was going through some really big relationship stuff and kind of in a very dark night of the soul. And that's sort of what I'm kind of coming out of right now. And I'm feeling incredible. I'm feeling like just like my life and my energy and my life force is coming back to me. And I thought I was like standing still on this path of personal growth that I had been on for over 20 years since I moved from the East Coast to California. And as soon as I exited the relationship, it was like all of the like wisdom that I thought I had lost. Everything was just exponential. And so that's where I've been the past few months. I also just escorted. I also just accompanied a friend through the death portal just a couple of months ago. Just so, yeah, there's a lot of integration happening in my life and a lot of gosh, it feels so hard to put this all in just 2 minutes. I feel like I have so much to say about what's happening for me, but I guess that's just a little taste and more will come. But yeah, just I'm in a space of rediscovery, like getting to know myself in a new way, and getting my power back, just really feeling like re-empowered to share my gifts in a different way. And I don't know what that
Hands
is.
up.
Okay, I'd rather you'd hold the phone up and be nonverbal, so it's a little less abrupt. Would that work for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the person gets a little choice of whether to finish that sentence or not. And if they can't see you and it's been a bit, time's up. How's that? Great, thank you. All right, would you like to receive our love, Tara?
Yes, please, of course.
I can go next, if that's okay. Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Mhm.
My name is Valerie, and I resonated, Dara, with a lot of the things that you were saying as part of the reason I was going next. I'm also in an area or a space of a lot of transformation in all areas of my life, including personal and work. In my personal life, I've been married for 20 years, and that relationship is moving into separation. My daughter is 18, and so she's a senior in high school, and so there's a lot of transitioning there and what parenting and motherhood is like. And in my work, for about the last 10 years, I've worked as a holistic health coach and yoga teacher. And then in the last 5 years or so, I started doing energy work, Reiki, intuitive healing. And I've continued doing some of that over the last few years, but some of that was paused when my husband had a traumatic brain injury about 1.5 years ago. And so I was doing a lot of caretaking. I brought in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber to my business, which sort of diverted me from doing some of the things that I really wanted to be doing. And so we're in the process of selling that and coming back to what really lights me up as a healer. And I tend to work a lot with people who have trauma, autoimmune conditions, and I'm still exploring, what this next phase is going to look like for me. But I've been very aware of taking an intentional time over the winter, to really be going in and pausing. And I think it's really perfect that we're starting here, just after Imbolc, and really starting to, resurface. What I'm passionate about is community and connections, healing, water. I love the water. I love to be on the water, in the water. Yeah.
Thank you. Would you like to receive our love?
I would love to receive it.
So when we're doing this, I think a good signal of thank you, I'm complete, is just what you did. And when we see that, then we also just bow and so we can all complete at that time that feels right. Great. Yay, who's next? Marina?
Right. Oh, thank you. So I'm Marina of the Sea, and I also take after Valerie about loving the water because I feel like I'm really connected to the mermaid energy. And I am a priestess, a space holder, and Koya teacher. Koya is an embodiment practice mainly for women, but I also hold co-ed classes. And my old job is being an English teacher, and I also do tour guiding around this beautiful land in Turkey right now. And I spent since 2020, the last 2 years, basically healing myself through all the various tools and practices I've learned along the way. And I feel that I would love to create a conscious community here in Turkey, and connecting to not only the land, the ancestors, the people. I'm learning Turkish. So I'm really grateful to be living in this paradise, even though right now it's a very hard place, because Turkish culture is all in. There's no separation. There's no coldness involved. So everybody feels everyone's pain.
Mm.
And I'm very passionate about holding space. I've manifested this home. I call it the TLC, the Temple of Love and Community. I have a little studio, but I'm not there now because it's so cold. I can't really heat it. And once the weather gets warmer, I'll definitely check in from there. And yeah, and my expression in the world is like this threshold right now. I don't know which trajectory to go on, whether to do more English teaching or tour guiding or space holding or create a community. It's all up, and I'm open to every possibility, even to getting a cruise job, whatever it is.
Great. Would you like some loving?
Yes, please. Thank you.
And I met Marina when she was here in Asheville for some years. Yeah.
Hello.
And who's next? Kaya.
Good morning. My name is Kaya Kute, and I now live in Ashland, Oregon. And I've learned that anyone who transplants into a new reality, it takes time to adjust. So I'm certainly doing that. My original orientation in the healing arts was through acupressure and focusing on stress management. And after a period of time, I had this huge epiphany, assisted by the angels, that stress was people not living the way they wanted to live. And so I dedicated my life to ideal life and connecting people to the light of their soul and creating a higher path in life. I'm so passionate about the realm of creativity and co-creation, how we as human beings co-create with the angelic realm to support our evolution and to discover who we are and what we're here to do in the world, and also to be of help to others and blossoming and blooming in that way. I'm passionate about the mentoring relationship that I have with people. I've led a very, how should we say, I'm one of those hidden healers, that has a marvelous private practice that flourishes, and I've had classes, but they've all come into my little world. And so the shift that I'm going through now is it's time for me to go out there and really move into a greater aspect of my work and to share my wisdom with the world. And my epiphany the other day was that as an only child, I was so accustomed to me, myself, and I, and other people coming here that this is not just a vocational shift, but it's a shift in my identity to be out and about in the world in a much greater way. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like some loving?
I would. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, Mikhail.
Oh, it's my turn already. Wow. Okay,
Like it.
let's start. start. I'll do it. Well, Mikhail from Ecuador. I'm in a complete new beginning. For my birthday in September, I went to Egypt, and I'm experiencing a complete disconnect with everything that I knew. So I'm here hopefully to reconnect with the highest, brightest part of myself and see how I can continue to be of service to humanity. And in the previous life, I had a wellness center, was doing coaching, healing, and I was really passionate about business and helping people with their business. But now I don't know. So we'll see what's next. That's about it. But I forgot about anything.
I'm just curious if you want to share a little of what brought you to Ecuador. Because you started in where you started in.
Okay, I was in Panama before Ecuador. That's where I had my wellness center. And then, of course, COVID happened. And then my husband, his dementia got worse. So became the caretaker. And then it was time. My guy said, you gotta go. So he's being cared for. And now I'm learning to care for myself and see what's coming.
Great. Thank you all. Would you like some loving, Mikhail?
Yes, please.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm. Yeah. So I'll check in. I've been working on myself 50 years, and I absolutely thought all my little parts and pieces had been retrieved, and I was past that phase, and it felt like another dimension. And just when we think we're there, we get humbled again. So I did a medicine journey and found a part of me that just had the capacity to totally shut down my body, which was really interesting. So I did a retrieval of that, and then this was the days after the journey that I had an underworld journey and found parts of me that had been living in the underworld, and they took me on a tour. So I've seen parts of the underworld that I don't think most living people have seen, and it's pretty fascinating. It was very scary, but one of my guys was holding my hand the whole way, and it was like I was witnessing, not being in it, but witnessing it, and then bringing all those different parts that came in right into now. And at first they were it felt like some parts of me came in that carried a bit of the darkness of the past. And they had this beautiful shift because Babaji came in the corner of the room, and they went, "Who's that?" "He's a ghost." And I said, "Well, he's an ascended master. And I think you all know another ascended master because they grew up with Jesus." And then he came. And it turned into this total love fest that I just felt like each little part of me felt the love. I said, meet me in the light of our love. And we all just held love the morning of my birthday for about an hour and a half. So I'm a little retooled, and I love it. And what I'm passionate about is offering my legacy to the world. So a lot of it's on the website, and I put a lot on social media. I feel like when COVID hit, my message was elders to the fore. I hadn't thought of myself as an elder before, but I needed to just offer all I could to support people. And it's been really fulfilling. I get a lot back. And I feel it's actually supporting me and feeling more vital and alive. So I have more to give. It's a good life. After an underworld journey or so. You know, I've done so much of people leading us through the shadow that, you know, when you get in the shadow, you just got to be. And it was really amazing to just surrender, just witness. And it gave me more wholeness. So, yum diddly la. I'll take your loving. Whoa, this is a potent group. Thank you. Yay. So I feel that we're here. We have a rarefied opportunity here to go create a community of support in a circle of peers, of colleagues, fellow seekers, women who are and have been entrepreneurial, spiritually aware, savvy businesswomen, and I would say women with grit. Would you say women with grit?
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I like that. So I want to name that we have this Mighty Networks group that's just for us. It'll always be just our group. And it affords us an opportunity to share from your heart with each other throughout the week. You can set it to notifications, and then you'll be notified if in your email or wherever you want it sent when someone posts. And it's just fun to go see what people are saying. I ask that each week we post our intentions for the next week there. And then you can support each other, and you may have resources, ideas may come through for you. And so it's an offering of our wisdom to each other. And whatever you may be going through, you can talk about it there because someone's probably gone through it, if not all of us. And I think there's so much commonality that through our journeys, just different versions of the same story in many ways. So you can share a poem. One woman sang a song to everybody, and just share what's on your heart. Be authentically you. And the more we use it, the more it becomes a portal for community and growth. So you've got the link in your last 2 emails. And, you know, I think what we find is life isn't always easy, right? This earth plane is a bit of a school. I think it's a schoolroom. You know, we tend to think, well, I'm getting my lessons and I'll get past it, and then I'll be able to live life. Nope, it's a schoolroom. You get to keep having them come around at a different level. And sometimes they get kind of tough. And I think especially for light workers, it's kind of like how we shine our light, how we clear everything in the way of our light. Maybe it's how we earn our wings. But to me, those of us who choose to be light workers, to really serve in a bigger way, we're responding to something in our soul that wants us to be a part of the change force on the planet. And for me, you know, everything's in a bell curve, and I want to be way out here. And I think if it makes it kind of rarefied, there aren't too many people like me. But if I do this really well and I help other people evolve their excellence, we can probably pull the whole bell curve along a little bit. You know, so everyone gets the benefit of us really becoming the rarefied people that we are. I think one of the advantages of age is that everything I've been through seems worth it. all the chaos, all the horrible relationships, the challenges, they all seem worth it, because every snag, when I worked it through, gave me more of who I really am. So I wanted to read a quote that I love. This is from W.H. Murray, and I'll put it on the Mighty Networks group. Unless one is committed, there is hesitancy.
Mhm.
The chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no one could have dreamt would have come your way. I want to just say that again. So once one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no one could have dreamt would have come your way. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Yeah. So, what I would like us to do is an exercise, and it's something to help us gain more clarity about what you want to boldly commit yourself to. So if you'll get your journal or a planning paper or pen, does everyone have something to write on? Great. So first, breathe, feel your grounding again. Let your light spiral down. Let yourself spiral all the way in to the center of your heart. Come and sit in that sanctuary in your heart. And in your heart, asking of your heart, of your being, what do I most deeply desire to bring into fruition in my life? What do I most deeply desire to bring into fruition in my life? Right, whatever comes. And if you were to bring that into fruition, what need in you would it meet? What need in you is wanting to get met with this? You ready for the next question? I need more time. Just raise your hand. Okay. One more time. What need in you would that be? And what impedes me from going there? And how do I give what impedes me the power to block me? How do I give what impedes me the power to block me? And how do these impediments serve me? In a way, everything's serving you or thinks it is. How do these impediments serve me? Whatever is blocking me, how's that serving me? If I lived this dream, what would I have let go of? If I lived this dream, what would I have let go of? And if I live this dream, what would I have gained? And what permissions do I need to give myself? And when you're ready, breathe and drop into the sanctuary of your heart. Make it a nice, comfy place for your meditation, your creation, maybe with an altar. Maybe putting some symbol on that altar in your heart of what you're writing about, what you're calling in. Using your hands, imagine you offer any of those impediments to the angels, to the guides. Just lift them up out of your body. We use the hands because the subconscious changes by ritual or imagery. It loves drama. So if there's something really in your way, just toss it, release it, let it go. Yeah. Don't need that anymore. Yes. Letting that go. Whew. Hmm. And then sitting that altar in your heart, there's one more question to ask of your heart. What does my heart tell me is possible here? Just sitting with that as everyone completes what your heart says is possible, your permissions. See if you find your yes to this dream fulfilling. Ah. And then thank yourself, bless yourself. Good work. And I'd like to take some time for anyone who'd like to share what you learned. And if you want any input, let us know, or you want to share what you experienced. And what I want to say, if we offer input, that it's always insights or resources, no fix it, no advice, because nobody needs fixing. We're all already there. We live there. So who would like to share? Marina?
Yeah. So I was really surprised by what came through because what I saw in the initial question was a seaside sanctuary, a community space, and a retreat center. But the main thing about it was that it's a home, because I've lived on I've been wanting to release my identity. I don't identify with any nationality anymore. I've lived in, different countries. I have different roots. My mom Russian, my dad Hungarian, married to an American. So I had all these mixtures, and I don't identify with any countries. I don't like borders, boundaries, and yet I long for a place on the earth. And it's just what if the dream came true? What I would gain from it is I would gain a home base, a corner of the earth made more beautiful with my hands and my heart, and a sanctuary for others to come for radical acceptance. And it's just very surprising because I was not expecting this, that I actually want to settle down, because I've just been running away, and kind of like for the last 3 years I've been moving from one place to another, trying to find a rental, enjoying being a tour guide, living in hotels. Yeah. So thank you for listening. Thank you.
So welcome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just breathe into these feelings. Feels like something's releasing. That, yeah.
I knew, Evelyn, that your sessions are going to be powerful, but I didn't expect to like drop in the first minute.
Well, welcome to Dropped In. Yeah. Yeah. I think that part of what we can do with each other is really empower that we can dream the big dreams. You know, we can have it. Because we spend a lot of our lives getting almost ready. But to really draw it to us. Yeah. Yay. So who else would like to share?
I'll go.
Mhm.
So a lot came through for me. And a couple of the gems beyond like the obvious, which to me is just like all of the impediments which I've been grappling with for so long, just like this fear of failure and perfectionism and insecurity and what will people think of me, and I don't know enough. Like those are just like, oh gosh, I've been sitting with those for so long. And what came through at the end after all these questions is that it's like the resistance that I have to creating, because like I really like the words that I would use for this chapter that I'm in right now. It's like this is a period of like creation and like generating. At least that's what I want. But in order to have all of that, it's like it's not just about creating and making and writing and doing and all of the things. It's actually about being with the resistance first. And that it feels like a really big aha, because it's like, sit down, like I'm doing my writing practice now, but like I can't do that if I don't actually deal with the resistance first. So that just feels like, okay, like let's be with that first and see what comes from there. And I'll just share this part too, because it feels related in a way to what you shared, Marina, is that when you said, what do I most deeply desire to bring to fruition in my life? The first thing that came through for me was to feel rooted and accept where I live. Because part of what my 5-year relationship did to me is like, I got caught up in his desire to be moving all the time and like to be running away. And there's a way that I don't feel at home here. And I keep getting these like little hits. And I feel like this is like a tidal wave of like, okay, like actually, like really, what would it be to fully 100% root and ground here as your home without any resistance to that or wanting to run away somewhere else? Just feels really profound to me right now.
Beautiful. Yay. Yeah. Beautiful. My thought is you might make an altar to your resistance.
Yeah.
And really honor it. It's got power. And whatever these impediments are, it's like some of our life force got invested in them for a reason. And everything that goes on has a good reason, but maybe the time for that reason is past. But if we honor it, we find out what it's about and what need it's trying to meet, then we can help it let go of the strategy and work on meeting the need.
Yeah.
So resistance is a strategy that at one point served, and that part of you is probably a really good worker. Apparently, it's really good. So you honor that, you great at your job. And I want you to know that you got me here. All these young parts saved us to get here. So we just love them up and see if maybe they'd like a different job. But they got to be honored first. And the jobs, they're all designed by us as children. So, yeah. Beautiful. Yay. Who else would like to share? What you learned about yourself, or what you might want to work with, or outcome of your journey. What would you like to share?
I can share.
Valerie?
Since we seem to be weaving some threads in our sharing, I definitely was aware of resistance, and that some patterns in those questions that were related to that around fear and being stuck, and safety, and also trying to take care of others, as a way to kind of deflect from taking care of myself, really. um, um, Thinking that to be, and a lot of this I know and have done work through, but like that was coming through in this of like, because in the moment that can feel very noble. um but I've definitely been aware the last few years that is really, accommodating and fawning and things like that. So really, like, just kind of the irony that that's not really safety, that like all those things, it's not really safe. It's really limiting, actually. And that what I really have to gain is safety and strength and freedom and trust in myself and the universe, spirit, I want to call it. Also that it's okay not to know all the details of what's next, because I can really work myself into a stuck, resisting place that way of like, I don't know, or I need to wait for this thing to happen or be right. And so kind of trusting that piece. And my favorite part, I mean, for me, a lot of it was more big picture than really seeing a specific thing. But my favorite part was, what does my heart tell me is possible? And the like immediate answer was like, it might make me kind of emotional. Yeah, like Marina, what you're saying about getting powerful, but the message was like, it's beyond your wildest imagination. Like it's really, like you don't even, um, yeah, like you don't even, it's gonna blow your mind basically, like, so that was good. So
Beautiful.
I don't have to know what that is right this second.
I think the how we do it is God's job.
Yeah.
I think our task is the permissions and following our heart, allowing ourselves to move in that direction, and the details will be revealed. Sometimes I've found myself saying, I don't know. I don't know if I need to know, but God knows. I'll be informed when it's time. I might say Goddess knows. I'll be informed when it's time. Because the real joys of what we want to do in the world, they're probably beyond us, beyond our understanding.
Yeah.
And so we follow the heart, we follow the desire, the willingness, and allow spirit through us to move us through the obstacles And then the path gets revealed. I'm opening to something brand new in my world, and I'm in that place of, okay, it's kind of scary. Well, I know if it's scary, it's worth doing. Everything worth doing, it's scary when you start it.
Mhm.
And so I'm just trusting, and it's revealing, and it's exciting to have something bigger than me happening again. So again, I think we honor the fear, all these things in our way. We invented it someplace.
Mhm.
And when we honor it, we can shift it. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. So we have time for maybe one more share, and then we'll take a break and come back with the council. Kaya.
Let's see. I'll start with the big picture, and then in the here and now. My big picture really is to bring forth a higher octave of my calling in life, which is to be out in the world and shift from working with the few to working with the many. And my calling in life is really based on co-creation. I want to bring that principle of co-creating with guides, angels, and devas to people, to inspire them to live in the world in a new world way and activate and awakening evolving humans. You were talking about the bell curve. Let's just drag everybody along. and to know that we are not alone. I mean, the very first angel class I taught in, I think it was 1990, I gathered 25 people. They said, give angel attunements. I didn't know how to do it. Then they showed me how to do it. And at the end of that course, we were all sitting there and they said, no, you are not alone. Mm-hmm. The silence was like silk and so palpable. And that's what the world needs now. And I want to bring that truth out to the world. We are not alone, and we have helper healers, and we have guides and angels and devas and nature spirits who are here to work with us. So that's my calling now. And at a up close and personal level, I would say that I was, quote, told to move to Ashland, Oregon. My guides transplanted me here, and it has met certain needs of mine to live in a quieter environment, a more rural area. And I agreed to move here because I knew it was an open-minded, progressive community. It has a reputation, it has an allure of there being very metaphysical people here. I've been here 5 years, and this is a very quirky town. And I have come to see that people don't know how to connect with one another in this town. We lack centers and gathering places. And so there's this element of separation or longing or loneliness, which hasn't made me happy in my transplant. I left a hometown of 36 years. I left my children. I left my grandchildren. I left everything I knew to move here. And there's a saying, find a need and fill it. And my calling now and what I most deeply desire to bring into fruition are gatherings. I must create gatherings here for my own sanctity, for my own sense of well-being here. And because I have friends who said, you moved to Ashland because Ashland needs something. So rather than being in a state of longing or loneliness or regret, it's time to gather. And so I have idea bubbles now forming, ladies for lunch and mystical manifesting and collage and chocolate. I've got all these ideas that are coming into form, and now it's to really ground them and also find avenues and venues where I can do it, because that's another one of the shortcomings here. So that's my deepest need right now, to gather people.
Yes.
Thank you.
May you be very successful. Ashland needs it.
Yeah, thank you. It does.
Beautiful place, ready to be awakened further.
I like the way you say that, and some people refer to Ashland as magical. And I want to lean into that concept and help bring it into form.
Great. Yay. Yeah, I think you're planted to create the garden that you want to live in.
Mhm. Good
Yeah.
point. Yeah. Thank
Garden
you.
of community. Beautiful. All right. So is there anyone who just feels they must share before we take our break? Okay. So let's take a bio break until about 10 after the hour. Okay. Did you want to say something, Jared?
I'm sorry, I missed it. What did you say?
I'm suggesting we take a bio break, go take care of ourselves, and come back by 10 after the hour.
Okay, perfect. Okay, great.
Okay. Gives you some time if you want to journal anymore as well.
Hmm. Uh,
Hmm. Welcome back. So I put in the chat some of the resources that you'll find on the website, and I'll also put it in the Mighty Networks group. I encourage you to go there and access these resources. I want to call our other two women to come back on video, please. Sometimes I do it in the Texas style. Y'all come on back now, you hear? I lived there a while. Yay. I forgot to pause the recording, but when you're listening, you can move it forward 15 minutes. So this last exercise that we did, I'll put those questions in the Mighty Networks. And I think it's a great exercise to take with something you may want to develop in your life. So you break it down to a piece and you go, okay, got a lot of something in the way there, and go through those questions. Find out how the resistance is trying to help you. Tara, we want you back. Yay! Great. So if you want to have a second dose of me next week, I have created a membership called the Hub of Alchemical Love. On the website, it says membership. And the first one's free. And if you choose to join the membership, you get a lot of beautiful free gifts, including one of my best channelings ever, Activating the New Human. So you can look that up. Let's all take a breath, bring ourselves even more present. So this second part I devote to bringing through the Council of 12. And we'll use an invocation, call them in. It's always wise to really set a pristine space so only the beings you want can come in. And then they'll have a message and they'll have time for whatever inquiries you'd like to offer, whatever you want to ask for yourself. It seems like all the answers serve everyone here at some level or another. And they tend to be very collaborative. So they work with you on responding to your inquiry. Okay? You ready? Great. I feel so honored I get to work with y'all. Yay, yay. Breathing and grounding. Allow yourself to flow right into your center. Come to sit on your seat of power, right in the core of your body. I ask the angels and archangels, please create for us a crystalline temple of radiant energy, crystalline temple of light around each one here and anyone on any replay, so that you're in a circumference of light. Weaving for each one a chrysalis of light for yourself that's filled with the very rays and vibrations that are needed by the journey you're beginning here today, this next leg of your journey. I ask God, Goddess, source of all that is, encompasses so completely in your radiant light that only beings serving love, light, and truth may participate in any way. Deepest healing, highest guidance is received. Calling in the Council of 12, radiant beings serving the heart of the light only, and any from the heart of the light who are guides or loved ones for anyone here. Greetings, dear ones. We greet you, we bless you. We're honored to be with you as well. And many of your own guides and angels have answered the call. So at any time, you might find yourself listening to them or writing something that comes through, and you can return to our words when you watch the replay. So what we're sensing with almost every one of you is that it's some aspect of your life, you're embarking on a new journey. We heard the word transition a lot. You're learning a new way to be with yourself and a new way to align your inner world with this next expression that's being asked of you in the outer world. So the collaboration with spirit that we feel is the most effective is that you ask a lot of us. Because if you notice, your soul asks a lot of you, right? And maybe your guides, and maybe your whole spiritual family moved to Ashland. Oh, yeah? Thank you very much. So when you respond to these calls, then you get to know you're on your soul's path. When you devote your heart to it, you're on the path of the heart. And all the resources are put on the path of the heart. That's how spirit works. So if you feel I'm called to create more in community, I'm called to find a whole new expression of service in the world, I'm called to getting over myself and going ahead and doing these big dreams that I see, I'm called to home. When you feel that call, you can know it's divinely ordained, and then you can know you can ask a lot. Okay, soul, you put me on this course. Now I want the resources. I want a lot of support from you, from guides, from spirit. You know, this is bigger than me. Well, great. Isn't that the big game? Doesn't it want to be bigger than you? Doesn't it want to be so big that it's worth investing your life in? Oh, that's a really good question to take to the altar in your heart. What is worth investing my life in? Because that's what you do, you know. If you're still avoiding in some way, you're investing your life in that avoidance. Whatever you fill your days with, you're investing your life in. So a balanced life, you invest some of that in self-care, really exquisite self-care. And you invest your life in what lights you up. Well, if I didn't have any fears, anxieties, resistances, procrastinations, etc., what would I be doing right now? You see, and you kind of, it's like your wisdom self begins to commit to that. And yes, there's some quantum leaps perhaps over some of the things in the way. The inertia is really hard to get past. So we feel that for you, Mikhail. that you need, and it's been divinely ordained to come to this time of deep rest and sorting out what's not me and what is me. How do I let go of everyone else's life and really live mine? Beautiful. When you come to a stop and there's a little inertia and create it wants to get overcome to create the forward motion. All right, Spirit, you got a plan for me? Activate me. Activate me. Activate my inner world to align it with the highest plan and mission that I can commit myself to. And if that's a little higher than my psyche's ready for, I surrender what's in the way. And again, you don't need to know what you're surrendering. Great Mother Goddess, I surrender all that's in the way of my fullest expression on this planet. You figure it out. You find it. You dissolve it. Make more room for me. You see? So most people on this planet were raised with a form of spirituality that had gotten codified into a religion. And there's something in the codification of most of that and making the religion essential in people's lives that diminishes the power of the seeker. And you think of some of the prayers of many of the churches or the hymns that forgive me, Father, forgive me, for I am a sinner. I release my sin. I release my badness. Why are you focusing on that? You know? Yes, there's times for the shadow, but you want to live with activate my light. Help me learn how to live from my heart. Assist me in clearly perceiving my highest path and helping me have the willingness, the resources, the savvy to do it. Oh, and by the way, I want a life filled with some ease and play as well. Yeah. Right? Ease and play as well. Yeah. So sometimes one of the fears of investing your life in a big dream is it'll consume me. If I do that retreat center or that building of a whole lot of events, it'll consume me and I'll be all work. Yeah, in the old paradigm, that's probably true. So when you call in new visions or new activations or new levels of what you're doing, you also want to call in the consciousness that can do that with ease and grace. So if the old consciousness has a lot of struggle, what can happen? For trauma survivors is you get addicted to struggle. You start becoming aware of that addiction to struggle. You can treat it like any 12-step addiction. I realized I was powerless over my patterns of struggle. And even when I was choosing a clear way, that somehow my mind would find struggle. Evelina used to find her mind thrashing about for what's wrong. You know, well, maybe he's to blame. Maybe that is what they really meant. Looking for trouble. Looking for something to struggle against. And once she healed her addiction to struggle, she went after her addiction to misery. So if there's a lot of misery in your early life, the psyche can get addicted to misery. It can seek it out. It can look for, how can I be miserable today? And when you treat that as, whoa, I'm watching my psyche look for misery, do I need to do that? That's when you start having agency over struggle, procrastination, misery, whatever your pattern is. You witness it, so you're building a witness self. You all have a pretty strong witness self. You witness it, and then you ask questions. Do I need to do that today? What would serve me the most? What do I want? And you choose. You choose what thoughts you want to follow. So if you think of it as there are possibilities of many neuronal pathways to get to the kind of goals you were looking at or you would like to bring into your world. There's the old one, it's the thumb, because it's the one that's got all the ruts. It's well worn. And the psyche tends to use it because it's easy. It's right there. What you're doing and have been doing with your journaling and your spiritual practices is you've been building other neuronal pathways, other ways to get where you want to go that are less trauma informed than this one. And there are many neuronal pathways you can build. So, you know, this piece about thought creates reality, people use it for a beat up. How did I make that happen? But, you know, maybe it's your soul's plan, you don't know. But in this framework, what it means is each of these neuronal pathways has a thought system with it. This one may be, oh, I don't know, I don't get around to it. I really procrastinate and I just find things to put in the way. But what's this thought system? And what's this one? And what's this one? And this is the steep one up the mountain. What thought structure would that have? And so when you come to something and you're putting this new, the other side of your transition together, when you come to that, you want to, in a sense, groom the thought structure that would create a neuronal pathway you want to follow. And the neuroplasticity of the brain is 3 weeks of not using this one, the brain deconstructs it and uses it for this. So how could you build a belief structure that you can keep enhancing for 3 weeks of, I can, I am, I have all the support I need, this is divinely inspired, I can walk the center of my path, and I allow its wisdom to come to me. Allow its wisdom to come to me. When you walk from your core, you allow the wisdom to come to you. When you're out there trying to make it happen, you're looking for the wisdom and you're trying to find the wisdom. And there's a lot of doingness, a lot of searching, a lot of false starts, perhaps. When it arises from within, because you're sitting at the altar in your heart and you're asking these internal questions and you're inviting your inner world to be aligned with your highest purpose, your soul's plan. When you're doing that, then you're moving from your center and providence moves you forward. Nature moves you forward. That's the path of the most ease and grace. May involve hiring someone else for something. It may involve, creating more support systems around you to create that ease and grace as you expand. So just ask to be informed when you need to upgrade, because in many ways, you might say you've signed up here for upgrades. So welcome to the evolutionary path of your souls. If you like that, just, oh yes, yeah. I'm willing to be on the evolutionary path of my soul, and soul, I want a lot of attention here and support. Souls like that, you know, they have all these different lifetimes, and because there's no time and space, they're all simultaneous in a way, and they fluctuate through what you think of as time and space. And so the soul is kind of the overview of all of it. But then if one starts popping, really is ready to take that growth path, the soul mobilizes resources for you. And itself is a resource. It's good to know. So, dear ones, we'd like to make a space for inquiries. Anything you'd like to ask?
I have a question for you. My dilemma right now is, how do I know it's time to take action towards something, or do I still sit still?
Well, if those are two ends of a continuum, then neither is so. It's how do I move toward taking action? So sitting still is really important. Taking action is important. It feels like it's not a jump from here to there. It's a progression. So maybe there's some searching you begin around whatever feels wants to be evolving in you, or maybe where you might take yourself to do this work, or what would it be like to offer what you want to offer online. And, you know, really, there's an interesting piece actually in What Color's Your Parachute. You start with a style search. What style of life do I want to live? You know, how much do I want to be stationary or moving, and more me offering to the world or me in the world offering? So you look for the style search, and then you look for the goal search. What are the goals you'd want to achieve or reach or go toward with this forward motion? And then the movement, the action comes out of that. But in the searching, you're already taking action. But it's the internal action of aligning the inner world with the outer expression. And our sense is that you've been coming this way for a long time, letting go, releasing, and you're turning a corner, and you just get curious. All right, Spirit, what's in store? What's in store? The world's your oyster. You could live anywhere. And you have many skills and talents and capacities. Plus, you got a whole lot of wisdom from this journey you've been on. This in-depth journey you've been on. So another step in here is you blog, you journal, you draw. See what comes. See where it goes. Evelina sat down one time and said, okay, I need to know what's next. And she called in all her guides and angels, set an altar, candles, got really, really still, and said, I think there's some kind of workshop. Can you show me what it is? By the time she was done 30 minutes later, because you bring your drawing materials and your writing materials, it's like an office meeting. 30 minutes later, she had a whole flyer drawn with this beautiful image and a poem, invitation, and all the details. So it's kind of like, where does that come from? Well, we want to let go of, is it me or is it the guides? That comes from the inspiration of you devoting yourself to evolving what's next in a true fashion from your heart. So it activates parts of your soul and your guidance to move you forward. So you're aligning right now. That's probably this stage. Sitting still is really important, and aligning. Yeah. And the recalibrating all your energy to current time is really a beautiful way for aligning. Does that feel complete? You're welcome.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there a way to find the answer inside of myself of how to heal my autoimmune disease? I tend to be, I'm very, really like looking, but I look out there a lot. And I got the answer in the previous exercise to look in here. For the
Yes.
answer.
There is. So the thymus gland in the upper heart is in many ways, the center of the immune system. So isn't it interesting that the solution to autoimmune lives in the heart? So what is autoimmune? Something inside has turned against you, right?
Yeah.
And this society, this culture with all of its poisons and stuff is really good at helping something turn against you, some part of your body. But something's turned against you. And it's interesting, this motion, because you say, I look out there, but now you want to look in. So how do I help whatever's kind of turned on me that makes my body not function very well? How do I help that part align with my wholeness and my health? So we think it's a pretty safe assumption to start with that somewhere early in your life, that turning was adaptive. And if you look at adaptive.
Turning, what do you mean by turning?
That
turning
way
against me.
Yeah, that way of turning on yourself, of making everybody else's needs more important than yours. And in a sense, in a way, autoimmune is kind of a sacrificing of self for others. So sacrificing of your own integrity, your own body integrity, in an effort to make your outer world work better. And that's what children do. So you want to, with a lot of love, search for that place in you that learned how to do that. And to say, wow, you really got good at that. Whenever you find a part that's doing some coping mechanism that feels counter to what you want to find how they're trying to serve, admire them, and help them let go of the job. But you can release things more when you meet it with love. So you go and you go, what part of me learned where and for what reason? I want to know because I want to love you. What part of me needed to turn against the integrity of my body for some purpose?
I kind of know that. It just doesn't really make any difference.
What do you know?
I know the part. I've worked with the part for almost 20 years. I love it. I've done all of that.
Is that
I haven't
part
changed my physical reality.
Have you retrieved that part from wherever it got caught in trauma in the past? Is it fully in current time?
Yeah.
Great.
So I tend to look, when I do look at myself, I look at the somatic, I don't know. I kind of go more in that direction at this point because I've done a lot of the other. I'm a bit flummoxed at the moment, but yeah, being told to look inside.
If we were to locate what we're seeing in your body, it would be more on the right side.
Yeah.
From the heart down to the power center. And it feels like almost a bypass.
Yeah.
of your chakra system?
I feel a bypass from my diaphragm down through to my just above my root. So when I'm practicing centering through my midline, it's always much harder for me to get through that area. I have to really work more to get through that area, like to consciously feel through that place.
Yeah.
And I've been working with that for years, but it's still hard to get through.
Well, the meditation that we put in the chat that's on the website, and it'll be in the Mighty Networks group, it's on the homepage.
Yeah.
It tends to help people get through because it has a lot of transmutation in it. Transmuting.
Meditation. Which one is that?
The top one. It's the homepage on the workshop, on the website.
Top one. Okay.
Yeah.
On your website?
Yes.
Okay.
And it helps you move into the chakras. It helps your light move into your chakras. Because we feel there's something there, and probably the inner investigation is, how did this bypass of my chakras serve me?
Well, it kept me alive.
Okay. So that's part of why it's
Back
really
then. Yes.
back then, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. So is there a part of you that's still back then keeping you alive with this bypass?
I don't know. I don't think I've inquired into that in my chakras specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be
So
good.
do you want to just take a moment and see what we see what we learn?
Yeah.
So coming right into your center and asking, asking for whatever scene might be important, where this bypass was deemed necessary. Whatever scene, some part of you might be still back there, holding the bypass in place. Just notice whatever the scene is. And what do you notice?
It's quite bloody, looking like the inside of the body just sort of like red and bloody kind of looking.
You're actually meaning a scene from your childhood. Did any come?
Oh, okay. It was in my body.
Yes.
Scene from my childhood.
A scene from our supposition, our senses, that there's a part of you that's still holding that bypass in place.
Yeah.
And you've brought a lot of your young selves in, but there may be some part of you caught in an early trauma where it learned how to do this. That if we go retrieve that part and bring it into current time, it may not need to do it anymore.
Yeah, I think it's really, really early. It's like, it's definitely in the room, and I'm getting something about implantation. Yeah, something about that. It's very early. That's only a week into the womb.
What's that?
That's very early. That's about a week from conception.
Okay.
Well,
So let's, if you're willing, let's ask Great Mother Goddess to do this work, okay?
yeah.
Great Mother Goddess, we call in your radiance and your love and your divine intervention. It appears that something got set in motion in Karen Melton's body right about the time of implantation, shortly after conception, that has created a bypass of down through her chakra system, and that's led to an autoimmune condition. We ask the Mother Goddesses to move back through time, all the way back to where this began, and help to release it, help release the contraction, the whatever kink got put in things that doesn't belong there. Helps release the chakra systems for Karen to be able to operate right from her core, from conception on. So all the mother goddesses, if there's any aspect of Karen, that any life force that's caught in these early days of the past, gather it up through her in womb and uteral experience, gathered up through her birth, gathered up through perinatal, gathered up through early infancy and through toddlerhood, and gathered up through childhood, gather all of her to now, right into the heart and into the core. And just imagine, you might ask Divine Mother to sit with you in your heart and help receive all these places that are getting untworked and unraveled and unwound, and all of the life force that might have gotten caught in that distortion coming right into now, into the core, right into current moment. Mother Goddesses, dissolving all that is other than optimal in Karen's chakras, and bringing all of her life force from wherever it's caught right into current time. February 7th, 2023, into the heart, into Divine Mother's arms and your arms, Karen. And just welcoming all of you to now. Oh. And what do you notice?
I'm kind of smiling,
Yay.
laughing. I love the help
Good,
from
good,
the goddess in my heart helping me. That was fantastic.
wonderful.
Being held there.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, felt really good.
So if you want to go back and be in Divine Mother's arms, we could say go right ahead.
What did you say?
If you want to just go back in your heart and be in her arms.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm still there. And
Beautiful.
for the first time in this whole call, I actually feel like my chest is opened and I feel like relaxed and I can take a deeper breath. And I've just been wondering, why is it feeling so tight here? And why am I not feeling relaxed? And I guess I was waiting for this.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I hadn't caught up with my soul's plan yet.
Catching up fast here. So we often bring people right into Divine Mother's heart, and then you breathe in her love, breathe all the rest out to her. And you say, absorb whatever has ever blocked my full chakra system, and help me, all of me, fall in love with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Please. Yes, please.
Thank you. Yeah. So we do two kinds of soul retrievals. We do one that's finding a specific scene and then bringing that child through space and time. And we'll probably do some of those with y'all. But this is when it's early, you just got to get all the mother goddesses to work on it. And it's so visceral that it creates changes almost without the person quite knowing it, but then it comes out in smiles and laughter. Yay. We just have to say one more thing. The song that comes is, you may know it, every little cell in my body is happy, every little cell in my body is well. You might look that one up. It's a great one to sing. And it engages those young parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
So Valerie, you unmuted. Were you going to? Yeah. And then
Well, yeah, I had almost the exact same question that Karen did. So that's, I don't know if you, my eyes got really big when she asked her question. I've dealt with autoimmune health issues since early 20s, had a lot of healing from that through all the things that I did and brought that into my work. And probably the last 4 or 5 years, it's back with a lot of resurgence. And
Hmm.
in addition to like the physical pain of that, there's, you know, some anger and even shame around that of like having had this shit figured out, and then the overwhelm of like going through all of the things again. And
Mm-hmm.
so I do feel like, thank you, Council and Karen, I do feel like I got a lot from that and was listening and absorbing that. And I guess my question is there anything kind of specific to what might be noticeable in my body or feel that is important or
Mm-hmm.
puzzle?
I sense we also notice the last 5 years you've been doing more energetic healing and touching energies and bodies. We have a sense that part of your resolution of this is really learning how to keep your own energy field sovereign, that your body, your energies are getting more blended with other people's energies. And it's like an extra challenge on your body, trying to run your energy and others. So there's whole skill sets around building a sovereign field. We don't think of it as protection. We think of it as getting your 4-inch layer filled with angelic light. And then once you've worked with someone, clearing yourself. So even at the break, Evelina went and used this, which is called Upright Clarity. And it's a spray of essential oils and actually star essences. We'll put that, give you that resource that you spray through the field, because we feel that two things. One is you've gotten more and more sensitive. And so the more sensitive we get, the more sensitive one is. And so the more you need to really work with a sovereign field. And the other is trusting that your intuition can really understand what's happening with the other person without taking their energy in as much as you have been. So Kuan Yin would say, touch the pain and be the love. So you feel into it, you intuit into what's going on with the other person. Then you come back to self and you focus on being the love and let spirit do the work through your hands. So in the list we posted, there's also a link to the Living as an Empath meditations. And the first one's free and it's got a lot of these tools. Have you listened to any of those?
No, not specifically.
It will give you more resources for that. Because what we're really addressing, you've addressed a lot of the causes, but we're addressing the resurgence. And we think it's really about energy management and care and keeping of the subtle bodies and the chakra system at this new level of work and new level of sensitivity. How does that land?
Well, it's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. I kind of thought I was doing that, but I also am aware that that's still new to me in the big picture of things. So going deeper with that makes sense. And I also think that I think I'm doing that also more than I realize, like in relationship areas of absorbing
Mhm, mhm.
other people just when I'm not aware.
Absorbing in, in relationship, absorbing is fine as long as you unabsorb. And so this is two people, and it's a really fun, intimate time. You want to merge. That's really, really fun. But with so much detachment or unattachment, you can come back to self.
Mhm.
It tends to happen because, as we're coming to learn, everyone has their attachment issues, different kinds. What tends to happen is there's kind of a staying merged.
Mhm.
And then that's where people create a fight. It's like pull apart, you see. So you want to develop the art of merging and unmerging, merging and unmerging. At the end of our 3 hours, we'll always do an unmerging because we kind of merge with each other. We're right here in each other's lap practically by being in these little Zoomtopia boxes. Yeah,
Mhm.
good. The other intuitive hit we get from your being is it's saying to really allow yourself to link up to the light in your soul, almost like a sky hook, link up to that light. And probably one of these times, maybe next time, we'll work with that more.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Your being is saying you've got this, and it's all about sovereignty now.
Mm.
Yeah. Kaya.
Yes. Thank you. I'm all ears. I moved to Ashland, Oregon 5 years ago as instructed. Archangel Michael said, move here. So I did. Why am I really here? For my own health and happiness, I feel I have to awaken the town to friendship, community connection, participation, aliveness, and sense of personal empowerment for my own health and well-being, and to make my time here meaningful. I want to turn my sense of suffering into source.
Good.
And soul, right?
Right.
Soulful, sustainable living. So what can you say about this issue? Any suggestions? And of course, I'm going to say, is there a predetermined timeline for how long I'll be in this town? I'm on tour of duty here.
Until you're done.
Yeah, I know.
Awaken the town seems a little ambitious.
Yeah.
Our sense is that you've come almost like a research student for a while, witnessing, watching, creating your life, going, yeah, I got a good life, but whoa, I see things missing, and they're missing for lots more than me. And we do feel that you've come to evolve a sense of community for those ready to awaken to each other. Start with the kind of community you want to be in. Because when you awakened people, the community to connection, then they take it to their people and to their people and their people. So you're to create a pond, you might say, of kind of souls, the kind of people you want to play with, you want to be with, and supporting them in creating their own ponds or pods or events. It does seem that you and some others may want to collaborate on creating event spaces that can be utilized. Doesn't necessarily mean that you build one or make one, or someone has a home that they open to bigger groups, but that you're evolving event possibility in the community. And you're teaching, you're almost like an undercover agent in plain sight. So you put out what you're teaching and they hardly know that you've got this underwriting goal of connecting hearts and connecting people with spirit and building the new age Mecca that's it's supposed to be. It's lost something, and it's really lost it through COVID. And there's such a vortex in Ashland that it's drawn both those high in the light and those deep in the dark.
Yep.
So when you're offering these opportunities to people, we feel the kind of thing we were just speaking of being sovereign in your field and following your heart. It's going to be really important, so that as they go for community, they have the discernment to draw together community that is serving their highest good and serving the good of others. You're not there to battle the darkness. There are other light workers there working on that piece.
Yeah, I don't want to go there.
It's not yours to do. It's not yours to do. So when you see it, you just go, angels, would you put a wall around that, please? Archangel Michael, could you just put a blue flaming wall around that and diminish any harm done? It's not mine to do. I'm done. And you walk away. You're there to potentiate people in their capacity to open to heart-centered living and spirit-based involvement in the world.
In the presence of our group here, you and the Council of 12, I'm asking for assistance in generating resources, because one of the things that is so gobsmackingly lacking is community locations and venues. So it's one thing to say, for any of us, we choose to host events to bring people together, to offer teachings. Where do we put those? Do we buy a tent and put them, you know what I mean? So that's one of the discrepancies. I don't want to go so far as say is a lack, but there is a distinct lack of that places.
Well, we do know someone with a farm near there that might have part of your answers, so we'll send you her information.
Yeah.
So there are places, they're not yet evident.
Hidden in plain sight.
Yes. So you're right. Yeah. Council of 12, Councils of Light, I want you to mobilize resources to bring meeting places
Thank you.
to be evident to me and all of the other people who would use them for the highest good.
When I had my own center in Pleasant Hill for 13 years, I rented out space, and I would say to people, interested, that there was this triangle, and it has to do with the program, the place, and the people.
Yeah.
Those three things come together. And I found myself being irked that I don't have a center here and can't seem to find what is not yet evident. So definitely I'm open to any type of leads or resources, whether that comes through you or it comes through the Council of 12 or from my team. That's just such an important piece.
Excellent.
Yeah.
There are some collaborations that are calling you. We see a couple people that have a house with an extraordinary great room.
Okay.
That they haven't figured out how to use. They don't want to put it out to the wrong people.
Yeah.
But they're beginning to think maybe it's time to have events here, but we don't want to do all the work of events. Right. So we feel that it's a collaboration. Even in that, you're building community. Yeah. So first of all, we would say you're looking for two other pillars of this.
Okay.
Two other people one of whom has the resource of place, and the other has done a lot of events, maybe not so many lately, has continuity in history
Mhm.
to help you understand more of what this strange quirkiness is that you experience.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Great. And so the three of you meet, or the two of you, and who's this third, and how do we reach somebody with a great room or a home or a place? Because it doesn't have to be a center.
Right.
It seems as if for a center to develop, it's a collaborative effort,
Right.
experience that doesn't take so much of you, because you need to be there in the programming and the content.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Structure is not your job in this process.
Mm.
It's really locating those who will do structure
Got it.
and logistics. And
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I look forward to hearing who's got that farm.
Okay. Yeah.
Send it to me, right?
Yeah. What do you know, Kim Keller?
I met her when I first moved here.
Yeah.
She was living in town. Has
She's
she?
living, and she had a meeting space.
Uh-huh.
So she has a farm. We'll see if she
Oh,
be open to sharing her information.
oh, okay. Yeah, I'd like to know. Thank you.
Yeah. She still does gatherings, but she also may know people. But the place we're seeing is a quite large home with a big living room, but also a great room, like a
Yes.
huge room
Right.
underneath, and a nice view and great kitchen and several bathrooms, 2 or 3. It looks really good. So you just go, okay, come on, spirit, wherever you are, we're meeting.
Pull it down from the ceiling. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And maybe make an altar and put place on the altar.
Yeah, I will. Thank
Call
you.
it. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Mm.
Who else? All right.
Well, I used to be such a leader, like such a bright light in my communities and contributing in so many ways. And over the past, 5+ year, say 5 years, which feels like such a significant portion of time, like, wow, that's a long time. I've been hiding and shrinking, and like my whole sense of self-worth and like my value and my respect for myself have been so diminished. And I really want to step out again. I want to be that person. And I am, like, I'm noticing like, oh, those parts of me are coming back online. Like, that's who I am. I can't repress that. It's just me. And so in my immediate world, like, I'm starting to show up that way again. But I used to have such a bigger presence, and I have so much fear and resistance to putting myself out there again. And I'm curious what you might say to me about that.
The first thing we want to say is you're a decade wiser. We have a sense that part of the fear of putting yourself out there again is some of the tussling and troubling turmoil that you encountered last time. So one gets very into your brightness and your beauty, and you're there and you're putting yourself out, but there's a naivete that comes from not enough experience. And many great light workers, their brightness has been crushed by life. And so you just kind of have to go in and deal with the crushed and You've been doing that and feeling the contraction, and now you're feeling the, ooh, something wants to sprout again. You know, in nature, there's always these seasons of things come to their fullness and then die back to the seed. And you said, I want to go back there. Well, there's no going back. I want to go there again into my fullness. And we suggest that you court that. Put on some music and dance. Dance your fullness, dance your brilliance. Give your body again the sense of what that feels like. And if fear comes up, you just dance the fear. Yeah. There may be a soul retrieval for there from back there as well. Feels like through those really difficult last years, little bits and pieces of you to kind of die, kind of wilt. And so you just want to love those parts of you and say, yeah, that was really tough. I know that was really tough. And now I'm wiser and I'm more in touch with spirit. And I want you to know I can take care of us now. And boy, do we know what to avoid. We got that radar set. You see, the naivete is gone. School of Hard Knocks has a way of doing that. So in some ways, Dara, it's allowing a new vision, a new version of your fully blossomed self, informed by your experiences, to get birthed, to come forward. We're being shown from your being that you might take this into a warm bath, that you have candles lit and make it a ritual, and literally allow yourself to give birth to this new you. It wants to be born through you. That's true for several of you, actually. Be a really good thing. Go into the bath and with prayers and invocations and say, I'm giving birth to my fully expanded self. And, you know, when you ask for something new and bigger, you always go next to surrender. Great Mother Goddess, melt away whatever's between me and being fully expanded again. Dissolve my fears. And I offer up the stories. Oh, the stories life can create, or I offer up the stories. Because the fear says, what if that happens again? It doesn't need to happen again. It already happened. You learned the lessons. You only need one round for you, Dara. You know, been there, done that, and you let it fall behind. You retrieve all yourself out of it. That's what this giving birth feels like it's going to be. And the waters are melting all that's not me, so that what's truly me can come to center again and get birthed again into the world. Mm-hmm. How does that feel? Yeah. And you also surrender the remorse and regret or guilt, whatever's there. Of, I was there and I lost it. You just got to give it all up. I was there and I got taken on an underworld journey in life that has taught me so much. And it's going to inform my work with people. Mm-hmm. So many times in your next 10, 20 years, you'll be working with someone and you'll go, I know this because I lived it. It was just another course of study. Nobody told you it was a graduate program. Yeah. And if you let it be that, if you let these awful times just be, that's a lesson I needed as part of my in-service training for what I'm really here to do. It's not that I created it, or why did I let that happen, or how did I make that happen? It's what's the point? What was I to learn? How can I make the most use of it? And how can I release it to the past and pull my life force out of it to have now? Yeah. Great. Thank you. Does this feel complete? Good. Thank you. So we have a brief time if you want to ask something, Marina.
But I thought Monica wanted to ask a question too. Did you?
Who was?
Monica,
Oh, did Monica want to?
did you want to ask?
You muted again. Monica, yeah. There.
How about now?
Yes.
Yeah. So connecting with the autoimmune and that part of our shared story. So happy to listen, and not sure what my specific question is at the moment. Definitely am appreciating.
Mhm.
Thank you. I have a question.
All right.
So I would love some input of the council about me and money, in my relationship to money, because am I supposed to just get comfortable with being a financial monk and coming and going and things coming into my life and then going out again? Because it just feels like maybe this is my lesson to learn this lifetime. I don't know. But as I shared in my little intro questions, is that I had this thing about a past life regression when I was a pirate, and I feel that that's where this guilt sense might be coming from, that I was taking other people's belongings and that I don't deserve to have money. And even if when I have it, I just spend it all and then it's gone again, and then I start from zero. And so I don't know, I've noticed this pattern. I had a bunch and then it was all gone, and then again up and down. So yeah, that's my question.
It's almost like you let life pirate your money away from you.
Yeah, exactly.
So our sense is, first of all, we have a strong preference when people do past lives to resolve them, not just tell people, because it almost makes it stronger that you have that in your consciousness. So how about we ask the radiant beings of light working with us to help that pirate just move on into the light, move out of your feet. That whatever needs to get resolved for that aspect of your soul gets resolved, and any cords between him and you get cleared. We ask Kali, you're willing to burn through those cords and separate your fortune from his. You don't need to live out his karma or his karmic debt. It feels like it lifts something off your shoulders. Yeah, beautiful, good. Our sense is that you're developing a willingness to have and to keep money is on your path. It's the next level of evolution. You're able to make big money at times, but it's building savings, building a reservoir so that if you wanted to purchase a place for a retreat center, you could be a part of purchasing that, right? So it's the having of the money. So one of the free resources is the Femifesting on I think it's there. Oh, she didn't put it there. Yeah, the Femifesting, it's on wealth, on the accumulation of wealth. So it's a 25-minute meditation, because for you, this is a quantum leap. What that meditation does is it creates such a deep grounding. It's about 5 minutes of grounding. Then we take you in your quantum body, your quantum self, to a reality where you have wealth. And you get to see what that's like and bring it back into now. So that's the long answer. That would be to work that meditation like twice a week for a while. It would make a big difference. There's something in your belief structure that has my having money takes it from others. And you see, that's that old one. So that's the old paradigm. If I have money, others don't. So I have to not have money, so others do. But there's a wealth of abundance. There's plenty for everyone. So, no, we haven't put this on, but we'll put this on. There's a prayer treatment for unexpected income that we'll put it on the Mighty Networks, that says that I prosper myself and everyone else in this program. So if you're calling money to yourself and you're calling for prosperity of others, it helps go against that belief structure. That my accumulating wealth breaks through for other people to accumulate wealth. You see? So it's not an either or, because there's where it feels like your psyche's hung up on. You've got it, I take it, is the pirate, or I've got it, I get rid of it quickly, is the new one. But I can keep accumulating wealth and keep circulating wealth, and others also gain wealth from it.
Wow. That's a big one.
Yeah. Can you feel how that kind of pushes out some perimeters that you had in there falsely?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, it feels like a really scary big river that I'm not sure I'm ready to jump into, like the current of it.
What if it's an ocean?
Then I can float.
Right. We think it's more an ocean.
Okay.
It is an ocean. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that feels good.
Yeah. 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 You know water. So, you know, your statement, jump into that river, well, because you're seeing it as a narrow flow, which makes it fast. So widen your river. Widen your river in your imagery. Right in your river. And we can see you doing like a soul collage about this river that flows into the sea.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Expanding, pushing out the perimeters. Your belief structure.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We do want to say one thing for you, Monica. Yes, a lot of what you've heard about the immune system will really apply. And your particular version is your nervous system. And so whatever you can do to bathe your nervous system, to balance your nervous system. The polyvagal theory that's now getting so popular. There's a woman who has a whole webinar starting today or tomorrow on it. There's a lot about the nervous system now to help balance parasympathetic and sympathetic. And the more that you make love with your nervous system, the more you're reversing the autoimmune aspect of it. So your nervous system works fine, but the myelin sheath doesn't like to stay put where it's supposed to be. And so you bathe your nervous system with love, like you're using love to rebuild the myelin sheath. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I am also taking on some orgasmic meditation practices and trying to figure out how to ask for help, which is one of my points of learning.
Excellent. Good that you know. Good that you know, and the resources will come to you for that. And always running Kundalini helps heal anything in the body. You know, the caduceus that the American Medical Association has assumed, it's all about the Kundalini. It's the serpents moving up the inner flute, the inner core. Yeah, that's where healing comes from.
Yeah. Trying to decide if I should go, I mean, I have already lost so much vision, literal vision, that it is becoming very hard for me to live my life as a normal person. And so I'm really fighting with the part of myself that feels okay. So there's another part of me that's very, can be, so hopeless and self-destructive. And I really, I'm not sure how to thank that person, love that person, and give them a new job,
Right. So we've only got a few minutes because we like to end on time. We're curious if you'd be willing to have everyone just beam some light and love to your nervous system and your eyes and your yes. And all of the nerves serving the eyes to just invite a restoration of just such happy functioning of vision, of the eyes and the optic nerve and the optic lobe and the spinal column and all the nerves in your body, allowing the light and the love of us and the guides and the angels to come and bless you and bathe you with healing.
Yeah, thank you.
So a couple of your guides say they'd love to stay and continue that path for a little bit after we close.
Okay.
All right, good. So, dear ones, we do like to end on time. We ask that each of you go to the Mighty Networks group and place your intentions for the week. And the sooner you do it, the better, because the more attention you'll get from each other. And when you read someone's intention, just bless them and empower them and add your energy to it. And then if you want to say something, that's great. Intentions, plans, your agreement field with yourself. And then the other thing we want to do is unmerge. So we feel it's really important because we've tapped into each other's psyche. So we start in front of the heart. I honor you to each person. In front of the third eye and crown, I bless you as if you're bringing the blessings of the divine to each person. And then we do each chakra. So the left hand brings your energy in. The right hand, I release you all with love. I bring my energy back. Really draw your energy home. And the third eye, I release you with love. I bring my energy back. Bring yourself in, breathe yourself in, releasing everyone else. And the throat, I release you with love. I bring my energy home. And the heart, I release you with love. I bring my energy back. On the third, I release you with love. And I bring my energy home. And the second, I release you with love. And I bring my energy back. And the first, I release you with love. Bring me back, and then just pour your energy into your body. All the way down the back too. Reach into that light above your crown. Outline your arc field again. Just draw that light all around. So you're in your own sphere of light. If you're going among a lot of people, bring it in close. Otherwise, just enjoy having all your sphere of light. It aligns all your subtle bodies to come and nestle inside each other. So we take one more minute to share ah in the heart and om in the third eye and crown and beyond. So full breath in. Thank you. Bless you all. I'll see you next week. I'm going to stop the recording. If you want to unmute and say goodbye, feel free.